Hey guys, Daniel here. Now guys, this video is different, all right? I have a request. I want you to watch this one to the end, all right? And I know it's kind of long, but there's information on this video that could very well save your life. And this is why I'm doing it. This is a follow-up to the video I did about my heart attack, okay? And any of the data I cite, information I throw out there, there's links to all of it on my website, whitewolfblackbear.com. If you go to the links page and scroll down to the bottom, that's where all the health-related topics are. Okay? You good? You got it? Okay. Now, friends, gratitude. Gratitude been a very big part of my life. Gratitude has got me through some hard times. Like my friend Susan says, not complaining, just saying. But, you know, at times shit's going to hit the fan. There's that silver lining they talk about in times of tragedy. But, the gifts are always there in tragedy. You just have to find them. Now, although my heart attack was not a tragedy, it could have been. It really could have been. And there were gifts in that for me. You know, it grew corn for me, definitely, without a doubt. Gifts of a personal nature and gifts I get to share. You know, on a personal note, that event certainly brought out the best of my friend Chip. I'll tell you what, he is a good man, Chip Young. He is. He showed up for me every way possible. Thank you, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That being said, the rest is about you. All right? Now, as you know, I did a video about my heart attack. And I did that for a few reasons. First, I did it because, I wanted to know I was okay, and I wanted to let you know what happened. But also, I wanted to bring awareness to the topic of heart attacks. Because like I said, I never saw myself as a candidate, ever. Ever, ever, ever. And since then, I've been doing some research about heart health and cardiovascular disease, and I didn't have to dig very deep. And what I found out pissed me this narrative they've been selling us for decades and decades, that cholesterol is what causes heart attacks. Cholesterol is what causes cardiovascular disease. You know what? I say bullshit on all of it. I mean bullshit with a capital B. It is not true. Cholesterol is not the great villain here. It has little to nothing to do with cholesterol. And it has everything to do with elevated levels of sugar in your blood. All right? Now, what clogs our arteries, to start with, what clogs our arteries, it is not cholesterol. It's called plaque, all right? And I'm not splitting hairs here. There's different kinds of plaque. Now, what plaque is like trash that's floating around our bloodstream that gets filtered out by the liver, all right? Plaque can contain what? Fats and protein and fiber. A lot of times there's a lot of calcium in plaque. Calcium is what actually hardens the arteries. There's some cholesterol and some other stuff. But it's by no means all cholesterol, it's by no means most cholesterol, by no means 50% cholesterol. It's not. It's not. Like I said, it's not about cholesterol. It is about blood sugar. Okay. Now, it's all about selling us these drugs, these cholesterol-lowering drugs called statins. And these things are bad news, people. They really are. Okay, they give us a medicine that's supposed to prevent heart attacks that can actually cause a heart attack. How's that? Statins deplete the heart muscle, well, actually every muscle in the body, particularly the heart muscle, of something called CoQ10. CoQ10 is essential for the heart to function properly. Not enough CoQ10, it's not going to work right. It's not going to be able to pump blood to where it needs to go, and you're going to experience a heart attack. That's a fact. What else? Statins have been linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Okay, how does that work? Well, guys, our brains are made up of only two things, fat and cholesterol. That's it. Okay, the statins attack brain cells so they don't function right. Now, if you or a loved one are taking statins and you're beginning to feel, and you're feeling the beginning stages, okay, of dementia, right? Memory loss, confusion, mood swings, what have you, or if you have a loved one that's in full-blown dementia, they don't know who you are, and you're taking statins, please do yourselves a favor and go down this rabbit hole, because there's plenty of anecdotal evidence out there. People in the same situation going off statins, okay, the symptoms disappearing, and loved ones coming back to full lucidity, once again recognizing their loved one, their family. It is a thing, all right? Now, what else can statins do? Are you ready for this? It can cause diabetes. We're going to get back to that one. What else? Hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. Oh, that's good. Pancreatitis, neuropathy, headache, dizziness, feeling weak, constipation, sleep problems. You know, they might as well be giving us poison leeches, what they're doing. Here, has from leeches. Ugh. Statins are bad news, guys. They are bad news. And it's not about cholesterol, all right? Now, the cholesterol we ingest has nothing to do with our blood, with the cholesterol in our blood. What is this study? Dietary cholesterol, lack of evidence in cardiovascular disease. Get this. The hypothesis that dietary cholesterol contributes to the risk of heart disease was initially suggested in 1968. Blah, blah, blah. However, the totality of scientific evidence and experimental data did not validate the hypotheses that dietary cholesterol increases blood cholesterol and by extension increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. Okay, back in the late 60s, that's when they came up with the dietary restrictions of only 3 eggs a week, okay? Not a thing. Okay, it's not about cholesterol. It's not about the cholesterol you eat. Now, I'm going to talk about cholesterol for a minute. See, cholesterol has been demonized. It has. Cholesterol is on what I call the list. You know that list. Everything on that list they say is bad for us, right? Cholesterol is bad. Fat is bad. Salt is bad. Sunshine is bad. Beef is bad. Eggs are bad. That list, all right? Now, the fact of the matter, friends, everything on that list they say is bad for us. Not only is it good for us, it's necessary for good health, all of it. And down the road, I'm going to do a video about sun exposure because that's a real pet peeve for me. But cholesterol. Okay, what is cholesterol? Okay, where are we at here? Cholesterol is a waxy substance found in the blood that plays essential roles in the body. Cell membrane formation. Cholesterol is a building block of cell membranes, providing structure and fluidity. It's in every cell in the body. Cholesterol, all right? Hormone production. Cholesterol is a precursor to the production of hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, and vitamin D. Vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. And there's something that all cancer patients have in common. They are all deficient in vitamin D, all of them. Digestion. Cholesterol helps produce bile acids, which are essential for breaking down and absorbing fats. Cardiovascular health. Necessary for maintaining healthy blood vessels. So, cholesterol is an essential substance for the body, playing vital roles in cell structure, hormone production, digestion, and cardiovascular health. All right? Cholesterol is good, guys. Cholesterol is good, and we need cholesterol. And we need cholesterol. It is a thing. It's a thing. So, I wanted to know why I had why I had my heart attack, right? Why did I have this heart attack? I knew I wasn't a candidate, and based on the false model that it's about cholesterol, I definitely was not a candidate. So, when I was in the hospital, I remember being asked several times if diabetes ran in my family. Now, the last person that asked me, I don't know who she was. She was one of the cardiac minions. I asked her why that matters. You know, she said, well, you have prediabetes. Like it's no big deal. So I got to thinking, and I asked the AI, can prediabetes cause heart attacks? You ready? Yes, prediabetes increases the risk of heart problems. Elevated blood sugar levels in prediabetes can damage blood vessels and lead to inflammation, potentially increasing the risk of heart attack, stroke, and other cardiovascular diseases. Friends, this is where it starts, all right? Elevated levels of sugar in your blood attacks the vessels, the lining of your blood vessels, all right? This leads to inflammation, and that's when the plaque starts to stick, all right? That's where it starts. Prediabetes, not good. Prediabetes is associated with a higher risk of all-cause mortality compared to people with normal blood glucose levels. Oh, okay, guys. And what prediabetes is, okay, it's elevated levels of sugar in your blood, right? But not high enough to constitute type 2, but, high enough to kill you, okay? All-cause mortality, that means you could die of anything, all right? Cause-specific mortality. Studies indicate higher risk of death from cardiovascular disease, renal disease, that's kidney disease, and diabetes-related causes in people with prediabetes. Okay? It's a thing. Prediabetes is bad news. Okay? And that's why I'm doing this video, because 1 in 3 people today in the country have prediabetes, which means many of you watching right now have prediabetes and you don't know it, like I didn't know it, okay? And I don't want you having a heart attack, all right? I don't. So I want you to please go get your blood sugar level checked. And what you're looking for in particular is, what is it? Insulin resistance. Now, sadly, if you do have prediabetes, many times your doctor's not going to say you have prediabetes. Doctor's going to say you might have elevated levels of sugar in your blood. Because it's not type 2, they're not going to raise the alarm. This is where you have to take responsibility. You have to find out what your AC1 number is, okay? And once again, your insulin resistance. All right? Now, what am I doing about the elevated levels of sugar in my blood? I'm glad you asked. Years ago, I had this friend named Flo, all right? Flo was 84 at the time. Flo taught me a lot about nutrition. Now, she was the oldest of 6. And all of her brothers and sisters died of diabetes. She outlived them all by 2 decades. And she attributed her long and healthy life to brewer's yeast. This is the stuff, all right? Brewer's yeast, it's a superfood. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. It's full of protein, B vitamins, chromium, selenium, potassium, a lot of good stuff in it. But there's studies that show it brings blood sugar levels down to healthy levels, okay? Healthy amounts. Also, it can also lower your blood pressure. So it's kind of like a twofer for your heart, all right? Now let me show you what it looks like. These are these dried little tablets. So what they look like, they're like this. And Flo's protocol was 6, 3 times a day. Okay, 6 brewer's yeast, 3 times a day. She turned me on to that and something called lecithin. 3 lecithin, 3 times a day, 3 brewer's yeast 3 times a day. Lecithin, it's good for your digestion, it's good for your brain, it's good for your nervous system, and it emulsifies fat that you ingest. So that's what I do. Once again, 6 brewer's yeast 3 times a day and 3 lecithin 3 times a day. And now I'm not going to be measuring my blood sugar level. I know it's going to work. It's good enough for Flo. It's good enough for me. All right. So there you have it. Okay, it's not about cholesterol. It's about your blood sugar level. All right, so please go out, get tested, see what's going on with you. And once again, you have to take responsibility for this one. You have to find out what your AC1 number is, all right, and your insulin resistance, okay? Now, I don't know if they give out medicine for prediabetes or not. I don't know anything about that. And finally, I am not a doctor, and I'm not giving medical advice. This is for educational purposes only, okay? And there was one last thing. What was it? You, I'm talking to you. Guys, never forget, you are loved. All right? Okay. Walk in peace. Till next time, get out of here, you.